Starting a YouTube channel is something I think a lot of people are interested in, but they never really get into because either they're nervous about possibly failing or how other people will perceive them, or they really just have no idea where to start. So I thought for today's video, I would share my YouTube journey with you guys, how I started my YouTube channel and how I've grown it from there. So let's just dive right on in. So my whole YouTube journey started out when I got pregnant with my first. I quit my job when I got pregnant, and that's something a lot of people ask, like, why didn't you take maternity leave? The job I was at, the environment was really just not the best, and I felt that it wouldn't be a good idea for me to stay there through pregnancy. So I quit and I was just at home full time. After a couple months, I started getting a little bit bored. I felt like there are only so many times I could clean the house and there just wasn't a lot for me to do. And so I wanted to pick up a hobby, something that I could do in my spare time. And I also wanted to share with people the things that I was learning through my pregnancy. It was my first one, and there was a lot of things that I didn't expect or I didn't know. And I wanted to be able to share those things with people. So I was talking about it with my husband, Elias, and my original idea was to start blogging. I'd always loved writing and I felt like it was kind of my thing. He had mentioned to me, oh, well, like, why don't you start a YouTube channel? You know, that could be fun. I was like, I don't know. I've never edited before. I'm not really tech savvy and I've never really been in front of a camera a lot. I wasn't super keen on the idea. I thought, no, blogging's probably the better way to go. But after a little while, I realized that pregnancy brain just was not really letting that happen. I was having a lot of trouble coming up with things to say and writing them out, and things just weren't coming from my mind to the page clearly. And so I decided that this was not gonna work. I decided to take up his idea and try doing YouTube. I was very fortunate in the fact that we had recently bought a DSLR camera, so I could use that for my filming. We had a cheap tripod that was, you know, it was standing, but it was kind of falling apart a little bit, but it worked. My husband also had a Yeti microphone that he had bought years ago to use for recording music. I grabbed a lamp from our bedroom for lighting, and that's how I filmed my first video. When I first started, I was so awkward in front of the camera. Hey everyone, it's Rachel and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk with you guys about morning sickness. I literally just felt so uncomfortable sitting and talking to a camera. It felt so weird. I actually had to practice in front of the mirror a few times before I actually worked up the nerve to hit record and start talking. It just felt so unnatural, but I pushed through. I did it. I filmed my first video. Something else that was very handy for me was that my husband actually went to school for graphic design. So he sat down with me, he helped me with my banner, he also helped me with my thumbnail, kind of like showing me how to do it so I could do it on my own in the future, but just kind of giving me some ideas of like, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. And that was extremely helpful. So once that was all done, I uploaded my first video, and that is how this channel started. I did not actually tell anybody except for my husband, of course he knew, that I was doing YouTube. There are two reasons for that. The first is that I didn't want to tell family and friends and make them feel like they had to subscribe to my channel. I wanted people to subscribe because they wanted to, not because they felt like they needed to or that I was like pressuring them to do it. And also because I just felt a little bit embarrassed about it. I was nervous about what people would think, like, oh, she's trying to become an influencer, or she just wants to get famous and make a lot of money, or, you know, whatever. I was really worried about what people were going to think, so I just decided not to tell them. Of course, a lot of my family and friends now know that I have a YouTube channel. It's been almost 3 years. I'm not as nervous now as I used to be about other people finding out. As I started making more videos and being more consistent and really getting comfortable, I started to upgrade my equipment a little bit. We bought a better tripod, partially because we had to, because our cheap tripod completely broke, and so I needed another one. I got a microphone that I could put on top of my camera for vlogging and stuff. And then I also got another smaller tripod for vlogging and also for holding the microphone when I'm doing like these sit down videos. On top of the camera would be too far away, so I have it on a tripod a little bit closer. So I started vlogging when my son was born, and the main reason I wanted to vlog was to have all those memories to look back on. It's really nice having photos and stuff, but it's a whole nother thing to have these videos to look back on of your baby when they were just so tiny or when they first started crawling. And I really wanted to be able to have that. My vlogs when I first started, I did not exactly know what made a good vlog. I just kind of went off of vlogs I had seen from YouTubers I enjoyed watching, went by also what I felt would be good. But I didn't really look into what made a good vlog, how to make a good vlog. I just kind of dove right in. And it wasn't until I got pregnant again that I really started to try to learn and improve and make my channel better. I think I started out with just this idea of like, if I do it for long enough, I'm gonna get to where I wanna go. I'm gonna be able to get monetized and get the views and everything. But that's just not quite how YouTube works. You get out of it what you put into it. So I started trying to improve a little bit. I changed my thumbnails. I also created an intro for my vlogs. I tried to make my vlogs a little bit more interesting and put more effort into that. But it wasn't until my second was born that I really started to try to improve my channel. I switched to Inkscape for making my thumbnails. The program I had been using before, it worked, but Inkscape was gonna allow me to do a lot more, and it was still totally free. I started watching a bunch of YouTube videos, listening to podcasts on just how to make my videos better, how to make my thumbnails better, how to make my vlogs more interesting, how to work with the YouTube algorithm and understand the YouTube algorithm. Because yeah, the YouTube algorithm is just, it feels like this like huge complicated thing. So I really wanted to try to understand it a bit to know what I was working with. The past couple months especially, I've been really just trying to figure out what I want for this channel. I've been thinking a lot about it, trying to create some goals and just figure out what this channel is for, what I want to come from it, what I want to give to people. That's a story for another day, but I will probably be sharing more on that later. But I just really love like looking back and seeing how far I've come, seeing how my vlogs have changed and gotten so much better, how my thumbnails have developed over time. It's just so cool to look back and see how far I've come. And it just makes me so excited to see like where I'll go in the future. So I started my YouTube channel 6 months pregnant, no idea how to edit, and I never filmed a video before. I was not comfortable in front of a camera, and I was not a techie person. So if you're kind of in the same boat as me, you'd love to start a YouTube channel, but you don't know enough, you don't know how to edit, you don't have a fancy camera or lights or anything like that, which by the way, you don't even really need a camera to film these days. You could totally just start out on your phone. Starting a YouTube channel is something you kind of just have to go for it and kind of take the leap and see where it'll take you. But I really just love everything I've learned from doing YouTube and all the skills I've acquired from it. So that is my YouTube journey, how I got started with my YouTube channel. If you are someone who is thinking about starting your own YouTube channel and you have some questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to help you guys out and share what I know about doing YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for future videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.